At the beginning of the story, this woman was meeting an online date for the first time. What she didn't expect was that the man standing in front of her was only about 4'3". He even had to step on a small stool just to sit down properly. Before he could even introduce himself, Anna's face already showed how awkward she felt and how badly she wanted to leave. The man noticed it right away. So instead of pretending nothing was wrong, he joked about his height himself. He sounded relaxed and confident, like it was no big deal at all. That attitude slowly softened Anna. She laughed, and the tension in the room eased. What Anna didn't know at the time was that this man, only 4'3", was about to completely change her life. Anna was a top lawyer, smart, successful, and striking. She had a strong presence, and naturally drew attention wherever she went. She and her ex-husband Bruno had built their law firm together from the ground up. Love and career were once tightly intertwined, but eventually, both fell apart. The divorce was finalized, but real life only got harder. Bills, pressure, daily expenses. None of it went away. She didn't even have the freedom to fully leave the firm. For practical reasons, she had to keep working under the same roof as her ex, maintaining an uncomfortable truce. Then one day, something unexpected happened. Her backup phone rang. A man had found the phone she lost. His voice was calm and warm. He clearly explained how he picked it up, and remembered seeing her drop it in a rush. Anna felt grateful, but also a little curious. As the conversation went on, that curiosity quickly turned into interest. He wasn't trying to be funny. His humor felt natural, effortless. Even through the phone, his manners and charm came through clearly. They hadn't met yet, but somehow that distance made his presence feel even stronger. So when he suggested meeting in person, Anna didn't hesitate. The next day, she dressed up carefully, clearly looking forward to the date. But the moment she walked into the restaurant, she froze. Reality hit her hard. Still, she didn't walk away. The man's name was Alexandre. He was a well-known architect, respected in his field, and already wealthy before turning 40. But despite his success, his height had always followed him like a shadow. That constant judgment had also destroyed his marriage. Now, he was raising his son on his own. Yet Alexandre was never crushed by it. He used humor to break tension, and optimism to disarm prejudice. After learning his story, Anna's opinion of him completely changed. She thought he was just talking big, until he actually took her to the airport. The unforgettable experience he promised turned out to be skydiving. When the plane door opened, Anna's legs nearly gave out. She couldn't believe this man, so often defined by his height, was fearless enough to jump straight into the sky. They leapt. Their bodies dropped fast. Her heart felt like it was about to burst. As the ground stretched out beneath them, everything looked vast and unreal. Fear disappeared. So did all the pressure she'd been carrying. That jump completely reshaped how Anna saw Alexandre. Later, walking through golden fields together, her excitement still hadn't settled. For the first time, she asked him for his contact information. From then on, moments with Alexandre kept replaying in her mind. The man she once hesitated over quietly became the one thing that made her truly happy. But life never stays sweet for long. Every argument with her ex at work dragged her back to reality. All that happiness shattered instantly. Feeling overwhelmed, Anna called Alexandre. He was clearly thrilled to hear from her, and immediately invited her out again, promising to take her somewhere special. That night, he chose a discreet, high-end restaurant. Private, quiet, just for them. The setting wrapped the date in romance. Over dinner, Alexandre's humor shined even more. A few jokes were enough to make Anna laugh freely. They shared small stories, laughed at silly moments, and the entire meal felt warm and easy. Gone was the awkwardness of their first meeting. Now her eyes were full of admiration. After dinner, Alexandre drove her home. In the quiet night, Anna leaned forward and kissed him. No words, no hesitation, just certainty. Not long after, they were seen together by her ex. When he noticed the driver, the small man adjusting his seat, shot quickly turned into contempt. Later, at a party hosted by Alexandre's friend, the contrast was impossible to ignore. Tall guests everywhere. Alexandre stood out immediately. For a brief moment, he felt uneasy. But when he saw Anna dancing freely, smiling without embarrassment, something loosened inside him. He let go of his worries and danced toward her with exaggerated, playful moves. She burst out laughing. The dance floor filled with joy. In that moment, no approval from others mattered. They were enough for each other. But reality crept back again. The next morning, Anna accidentally kicked the small step stool by her dresser. Her hand froze. Doubt slipped in. Back at work, When her assistant asked about Alexander, she answered without thinking, "Just friends." The words landed heavily. Later, her ex mocked her openly, trying to make up for her guilt. Anna went shopping for clothes for Alexander. No men's store had his size. Eventually, she walked into a children's clothing shop. When Alexander opened the gift, he was touched. But he also noticed something else. She had never introduced him to her friends or colleagues. That silence stayed with him. When Anna suggested meeting her parents, his eyes lit up with hope. But the meeting went badly. Her mother's disappointment was obvious. The comments kept circling around his height. The dinner was painfully uncomfortable. Alexander saw everything. Later, he calmly confronted Anna's ex. No yelling, just a firm warning. Surprisingly, that conversation changed things. But fate wasn't done. One afternoon by the sea, Alexander wore the sweater Anna bought him. By chance, they ran into the shop owner from the kids' store. An innocent question revealed the truth. When Alexander saw the child wearing the same sweater, the smile on his face faded. Back home, he didn't accuse her. Instead, he made a painful choice. He let her go. Not because he didn't love her, but because he didn't want to be the weight she carried against the world. Anna didn't argue. Only later did she realize what she had truly lost. Her assistant didn't comfort her. She told her the truth. Height was never the problem. Fear was. That finally woke Anna up. This time, she chose not to run. She boarded the skydiving plane again. Not to follow someone, but to prove something to herself. As she jumped, every doubt and judgment was left behind. Alexander understood the meaning of that leap. And in that moment, he knew this woman was worth a lifetime.